whole world. So we buy the lie about the Twin Towers, we go down to Iraq and we kill off thousands of people, Iraqis and Americans. As I said, they kill their own troops. Depleted uranium doesn't say, he's got an American uniform on, let's don't touch him. According to the research, one molecule of uranium, depleted uranium, and it isn't really depleted at all, is enough to really mess your body up. Every soldier who has gone down there, regardless of their nationality and their color, they will have been affected by depleted uranium. So as I said, we don't really care whom we kill. And it says you kill and you desire to have. So we have this desire, as I've dealt with, and you cannot obtain. So in spite of all of our activity, we still don't obtain. Because it's a law. It is a law. And it says, so you fight and you war and you have not because you ask not. So we don't consider going and asking God for what we need, but in these cases it's never what we need, is it? It's what we want. Wants and needs are two different things. But how would you go and ask God to give you what the Iraqi people have? How would you phrase the sentence? What would you claim was necessary from them for your benefit? How would you phrase it? Or Afghanistan, how would you phrase it? Or Palestine? You say you need the land, but do you really? Just in the past few days, a rabbi said that the Torah, I suppose he meant by that the Old Testament, justifies their treatment of the people in Palestine. Really? I have to tell him that nothing justifies their treatment of the people in Palestine. Nothing justifies torture, destruction of property, destruction of families. Nothing justifies that. Maybe the Torah, maybe he needs some lessons on the Torah, Jewish though he might be. But if you look in the Talmud, you will see there quite clearly that murder is justified. Anybody who isn't a, quote, Jew, unquote, can be killed, and they think that they're doing God a service. If you would like to see more detail on this and you have a strong stomach, go onto the website, peterjamesx.com, and have a look at the document, The Synagogue of Satan. I assure you, you will be shocked. Particularly the Christians who are supporting the state of Israel, not even realizing that according to the quote Jews, unquote Jews, these are really false Jews because the true Jews suffer at the hand of these false Jews just as much as anybody else. You will see that they say that Christians can and should be killed, and that the Bible is an abomination. Now, I don't think too many Christians in churchianity know that. Verse 3, James 4, ye ask and receive not because you ask amiss, that ye may consume it upon your lusts. As I said, I would like to know how you'd ask God to give you what the Iraqis have. Before moving on, there's a woman in the United States called Hope Steffi. I suggest you go and do a search about it on the internet. You'll find something on her in the Truth Seeker, excellent website. And she's an American citizen who was abused and then seems to have gone to the police for help, where she was further abused by the police. Well, you see, I did a document some time back saying that exactly what takes place in these foreign countries by the armies and in places like Guantanamo, Abu Ghraib and so on, will eventually reach the United States, and it has. I suggest you have a look. Look for that name. It's Hope Steffi. It's shocking, truly shocking. You know, at this particular time, there are a group of people called, rather promoting a program called Winter Soldier from March 13 to March 16. These are all ex-servicemen who are going to spill the beans on what they did down in Iraq. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the American government deals with that. But these people are appalled at what they did. And one of them said, you know, as far as he was concerned, there was no forgiveness for the leaders who lied to them and sent them down there. Now, because we are breaking God's laws, as always, there's a penalty. We have been saying it over and over. A horrific penalty. And I'm just going to pull some verses out of Ezekiel chapter 22. You see, many of the things that are written in the Old Testament apply to us in the New Testament times. That is why the Old Testament is so important. It's not just history. It's telling us what's happening now at the same time. So that was a type of what we're experiencing now. I think I'm going to take the time and read some of these scriptures. Ezekiel 22, starting in verse 18. Son of man, the house of Israel, and that's not just the Jews down there, as I keep explaining. It's the 12 tribes plus the 2 adopted tribes of Ephraim and Manasseh. Son of man, the house of Israel is to me become dross. All they are brass and tin and iron and lead in the midst of the furnace. They are even the dross of silver. Now, if you've ever melted lead, I've never had the opportunity to melt all those things, but I certainly have melted lead. And what happens is you see the muck come to the top and you scoop it off and you end up with a shiny silver lead. Just like if you were cooking vegetables, potatoes or rice or something, you see the dross come to the top and you can scoop it off. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, because ye are all become dross, behold, therefore, I will gather you into the midst of Jerusalem. And everybody's focusing on Jerusalem, isn't it? All the nations, the ships are in the Mediterranean, they're in the Arabian Sea, the troops are there, the French are now gone down there, everybody's going down there.